Happy 2025. I feel like we have so much to catch up on, so we're just gonna dive into it. We're gonna do a get ready with me, trying some new products, some tried and trues. So we will try to talk about the products and catch you up as we get ready. I'm gonna start with the Milani Conceal and Perfect Smoothing Primer. I've used this a few times now, and I do think it does smooth the skin without being like too silicone feeling, but really be careful and don't get it in your eye, because I did that once and it burned so badly. I'm going to use some of the I&M Beauty Face Glaze just on like the high points of my face. Not a ton of this. I never really use primer, but I thought today I would put this under my foundation, just like I always forget about that product. On my cheekbones and then on my nose and maybe like a little up here. We found this girl, I think she's like a makeup artist that did this really cool makeup tutorial. I'll link it below if I can find it. And she used like a glowy base. I think she used the Iconic Nude one. And then she kind of did like this underpainting technique, and I've had it on my list to try to like recreate it because it was so pretty. Okay, so I guess we should start. We're filming this on January 14th. So obviously top of mind for us is the fires happening in LA. It's been super horrible. Yeah. I don't know like what else we can say, but we've lived in California for 15 years, almost 16. Well, 16 this year in the summer. And we've never had to evacuate because of a fire until this fire. So it's been very scary. As people have said, like unprecedented. Just like everything came together to create the perfect storm of events, basically. It's been so scary. My anxiety's been awful, but we just feel for all of the people that lost their homes and everything. But it has been beautiful to see everyone come together in the city that we love. Yeah, if I talk about it too much, I'm going to cry. You know how much we love it. But yeah, we love it here, and it's also just so scary when you're like, oh, my home is burning around me, like I don't know what's happening. It's really hard to describe. They're completely gone. It's scary. It's scary and anxiety inducing. Yes, my anxiety has been horrible, but again, we are so lucky. Cannot trust enough. We live really close to the Sunset Fire that started. I happen to be checking the app because we're all checking the SWAT Duty app. Like our lives depend on it because they do. For your mental health. No, it's so bad, but like last night I again couldn't sleep because the winds picked up again. But checking the app, and I was checking on the Altadena fire, and I see like a new fire pop up on the app as I'm checking it, and it just said vegetation fire, and it was so close to us. I was like, is this real? And then we walk outside and you can literally see the fire. It was crazy, and thankfully it was on the other side of the freeway, so we technically weren't in an evacuation zone, but just because it was so close and the smoke and whatnot, we were like, okay, like let's just get out of here. So we slept at a friend's house in Long Beach, and then we were thankfully able to come back the next morning. So it's honestly best case scenario. We are literally so lucky. Yeah. We know that they worked so hard to put that fire out so quickly. It makes you realize, like when you're packing to take stuff, like how useless things are. Like not useless because obviously losing everything is horrific and tragic, but I've seen so many people just discussing the fact that like when you go to pack the things that you need, it turns out to not be the things that you think that are most precious to you. Like I've seen people say like, oh yeah, I collect, you know, like vintage pieces or furniture, but when like the time came, like I just wanted like sentimental items, and that's really for us too. Yeah, and we're not, we don't really get attached to things, which good or bad, I guess. And so when we did pack, like just to bring stuff with us, we just had like a small bag of mementos. Yeah. Like, but obviously I think two things can be true, because that's so true. And I think I've seen so many people be like, I got rid of so much stuff because they just realized like through this, like that you just don't, like, oh, I just don't need all that stuff. But it's also like, I think it's kind of like certain things that you wouldn't even think to bring, like a comfy like outfit or something. Yeah, or even probably like your pillow. Or probably the things that people are like missing the most. Like they just want to be like comfortable, and like you're not going to prioritize like comfy clothes or like a comfy pair of socks, or even, yeah, like your makeup that makes you like feel pretty when you're in such a heightened state of emergency.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting, but it's so awful.
Like and then you have a bit of like that survivor's guilt feeling where like we're so lucky, and even though this whole experience has been so awful mentally, we still feel so lucky that like we still have our home.
I'm sure everyone in LA feels the same though. We've been like on the Los Angeles Reddit.
Well,
like,
that's our favorite Reddit regardless, like even before this, the Ask Los Angeles. We find so many good posts in there. But yeah, people every day are like posting about just how they're feeling.
yeah, if anyone feels alone, definitely go over there, because I think a lot of people have been putting into words like what we've been feeling, and it's so hard because like, of course, I think a lot of people here are transplants like us. So you talk to like friends and family back home and they're so supportive and sweet, but they don't really understand. So it's hard to like express what you're feeling. And you can't really.
Yeah.
So it's nice to, sometimes the internet's a nice place where you can feel like you're all in this together. And as we said, it's been incredible to watch the city come together. As business owners in LA, we've been trying to do our part. We've been donating to different rescue organizations and shelters that still need donations for clean coats, and then just monetary donations for diet.
We were at the Pasadena Shelter Humane Society only like a couple months ago, and we were so impressed with what they were doing, and through this whole thing,
yeah, it's really crazy.
Are really stepping up and like helping all the animals affected.
Yeah, I remember leaving there and being like, that's the best Humane Society we've ever been to.
Yeah.
And then now to see like what they've done through this like tragedy is really something. They're incredible. If you have any extra money to donate, the Pasadena Humane Society is so amazing.
I want to switch back to the makeup quick. The e.l.f. what is this, bronzer and contour, liquid bronzer and contour. This is the shade Fair Light, and I've really been loving this. It's a bit of a thinner formula, so it goes on really pigmented, but once you blend it out, like, I mean, you saw me blend it, it went on really pigmented, but it just ends up looking so natural and doesn't create like a thick layer on the skin, which I like, and so I highly recommend this. It's like $7. And then I've also been, you probably saw me do this, but the Rare Beauty concealer brush, I saw someone recommend using this for your nose, and I feel like I like how natural it blends everything out. Like, it doesn't necessarily contour, but it just makes it look so even and natural. Like, just like my nose has had some sun exposure. So I want to mention that.
I asked for this bronzer for Christmas. It's the RMS Beach Balk Betty. It's lighter than I thought. It's the Fair, I think Fair Light shade. So it's nice over, I tried to wear it alone and it was like a little light, although it's nice for winter for sure because I'm not looking tan right now. But it's really nice layered over the Milani cream bronzer. It just has like a nice glow.
And that week in general, last week in general, was super stressful.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you follow us on Instagram, you saw, but Luna was sick and that was really scary. Like, she went to the bathroom inside, which I don't think she's ever done.
Yeah, and like, she's going to be 9 next month.
So it was really scary, and then she threw up right after, so we had to take her to the emergency vet.
I'm mixing these Milani blushes. I've just been really liking them, which is a shock to me because I usually don't like shimmering blushes, like with a lot of pearl, but they're the Cheek Kiss Liquid Blush in Pink, Cava, and Cafe. Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so that was super stressful to deal with like early next week, and then our neighbor who's lived next to us for 7 years.
Yeah, we have like a top-bottom duplex. We've lived here 7 years, he's lived here 7 years, and he just moved out and our house sold.
Yeah, so it was like dealing with like him moving out. I mean, we felt the worst for him because how stressful to move during this time, with like meeting new landlords and all that. So
he moved the day that we evacuated.
Yeah, it was just like a super stressful week. So all in all, I'm so grateful to be feeling better mentally this week.
Me too, but we can't even, like we said, we don't even want to complain about anything because you're like,
oh my God. Mentally, like just.
Yeah, but mentally, yeah, my anxiety has
I'm not complaining, I'm just saying
truly
that
something
it's been
else.
hard.
Yeah, it's definitely been difficult.
The Vive blushes are so nice. This is the Sunset Blush in Rosa. I think we're gonna do like a whole video because we went to their like gifting suite back in December and got a bunch of products to try, and there's a few like standouts for sure. But I think we're gonna do a video using like all the products that we got to kind of do a review of everything. Because there's some good ones, but the blushes I've been using a lot. Okay, and I feel like I want to go back to December because we haven't really filmed a Get Ready With Me in months, and we were a little bit kind of absent, I feel like, on social media in December too. But you guys know that we did the Target Accelerator program for clean coats from September through December, and that was such a good experience and one that we are so grateful for.
Yes, if you are a small business owner, definitely recommend applying to the Accelerator program. They should be doing it, continuing to do it every year.
Oh yeah, do you remember what month it was?
Well, I think they used to do it twice a year, or maybe I'm wrong, but no, then they've definitely moved different times, because we've known someone else who did it in a different time of year than we did. Like someone we knew did it in the spring, ours was in the fall.
Oh, that's true.
So I think that just keep an eye. Actually, if you go to like Target, I don't know.
Well, we can link it.
Yeah, we'll link the website down below, but then there's usually like you can put your email in to be like alerted of their email list, and then I think that they email when the applications go live. And some people had reached out to us and asked us how to get accepted, and we will give the same advice that we got. We have a founder friend who one year we didn't get accepted and she did, and she was like, this was my third time applying, like just keep applying. And that's our advice too. We applied twice and we got it on the second time we applied, but we didn't get the first time, so just keep applying and sort of maybe make sure to, I can't remember everything on the application, but I know that you have to have a semi like strong brand story. I was gonna say brand story, and then I heard somebody else talk about on a podcast how like you don't have to be fully retail ready. You have to have, I guess, at least even like some practices in place so that they know that like eventually you can take on the responsibilities that come with being a Target. Like you can scale essentially.
Yeah, that's true. But the whole program is basically
to get you retail ready.
Yeah.
So it was like an invaluable experience. Like I can't even really describe it because it was the highlight of the year, possibly of the century.
Yeah.
We were so grateful to be accepted to the program. We met so many amazing founders in the program, amazing mentors, people who've like really helped us. Through the end of the program, we like really learned to really like better craft our, not our story, but
yeah,
like our unique
like
brand positioning almost.
Our brand positioning.
Yeah.
We felt like a little bit lost in the space because so many pet care brands were coming out with similar values as us.
Which is a positive thing.
Which is a good thing, yeah, like sensitive skin, friendly. Some of them had no fragrance. You know, like a lot of the same things that we were focusing on, but then when we really like took a step back and our mentors like helped us kind of see what we were doing, and we landed on having our line is sensitive skin friendly, it's fragrance free, but it also uses proven ingredients for odor control, and we don't see a lot of other brands doing that, and that is based on our experience in the space, product development, and our knowledge on these like raw materials. And so we do want to like focus on kind of shouting that from the rooftops more, because I don't think a lot of other brands, like I said, are doing that. And so it definitely sets us apart, and it was kind of reassuring that like we're on the right path and we're like going in the right direction for us.
Yeah, so it was just an invaluable experience. If you are a small business owner, definitely apply. It was incredible.
There was a pitch competition amongst like our cohort, and we actually ended up getting third place, which we were so excited about. So yeah, that was an amazing way to end the best experience of last year, and honestly to end the year. Like I'm really glad that we had ours in at the end of the year, in the fall through December, because it was like truly the best way to end the year. And then obviously to start it like this is like no good, but things are turning around. I got this recently. I needed a new brow gel This was $5. It's the Essence Fix It Like a Pro Transparent Brow Styling Gel, and I used it the past 2 days just with no makeup on, and it really held my brows in place. But I used it today with, obviously, with filling them in first, and it's crazy because it's truly transparent. It actually reminds me a lot of the original Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel that was clear and held really well, but that one was a little too crunchy. This one isn't as crunchy. I guess the only thing I don't love about it is that it is a little bit shiny, which is to be expected with like this type of formula. But honestly, I'm like so impressed for a $5 brow gel, so I'll keep you updated on that. A couple updates for Dyad. We have been working on a new perfume fragrance that is intended to be more of like an everyday signature scent, but it's different than a skin scent, so we're super excited about it because we realized that Rise and Shine was our best seller last year, and like which we expected because gourmands have been so big, but it is a little bit timely. Like it's a fall winter fragrance, so going into like spring we're like, okay, like people might not be interested in that, and we do have our 4 like musky skin scents, but if somebody wants something a little bit more robust, like that was missing from our line, so we're super excited about that. We're getting another submission this week, and then hopefully it's good enough to poll our community members and test it out. And how we do that, because we already had some community members test, I'll link below if you want to sign up and become a part of our community, but we basically ask you a lot about your fragrance preferences, so that once we have a fragrance to test, like we're going to select people based on their preferences, because we don't necessarily want to send to someone like, what if it's a super fruity scent and you're telling us you like ouds and leather, like that doesn't really align. So we kind of scroll through the list and see the best people to test that particular fragrance. So we're going to be doing that soon for this upcoming launch. So if you're interested, I'll link below if you want to become a part of our community. And we actually did have people test our spring summer scent, and the feedback was so good. So if that was you, thank you so much, because even if it's negative feedback, most of it was positive, but even if there's some criticisms, like it is welcome.
We love it.
Yeah.
Someone gave the best like critique.
Yeah.
And it was just like respectful but honest, and we were so appreciative.
Yes.
So definitely if you join our community of testers, we love any and all feedback.
Yeah, and it's something that we are definitely going to keep doing, because we had done that for clean coats. Like we've had probably some of you watching this test, and it was so invaluable, and that we feel like we have to be doing, because obviously we only have 2 little dogs.
Yeah.
We don't know how our products work on various breeds, so that is something that like we knew from the start we wanted to keep up with. But for Dyad, for so long it was just us testing, and maybe we would have a couple friends test here and there. But now that we really want to like grow the brand to something bigger, like I feel like having outside sources is so helpful.
Yeah, so that was super helpful, but this one is more of a rush because, like Britta said, it's like an everyday scent, but it does have a lot of depth, so we think the prime time to launch it would honestly be February, but that's like so soon. So if you do sign up, we may need feedback quickly.
Yeah.
On this.
I'm using this shadow. I think I talked about it before. It's the Moira Chroma Light Shadow in Birthday Girl. It's the prettiest like pink duochrome. It doesn't match what I'm wearing, but I just thought I could use some glitter. Hopefully you can see. It's so good. It's so beautiful, and I wanted to wear it today. So here we
I
are.
used the Vive eyeshadow sticks, and they blend so nice, but I will say they crease on me because my lids, everything creases on me besides the Merit shadows and the MAC paint pots. So they need like that type of formula to not crease. So I'm not surprised. I still really like them, but they do crease and like come off. But this Vive lipstick, it's the Satin Slip lipstick in Silk Sheets, is incredible. Like this shade is exactly like mine and Britta's like favorite type of lipstick shade, and I love it. The formula is so good. It smells like vanilla. The component's really nice. It's so nice. I love it.
I was also gonna say, I feel like I just have random purchases products like throughout the end of last year until early this year that I'm using because yeah, like the Moira is semi-new. I also wanted to mention we got this in the little Sephora birthday like Summer Fridays gift, and this, I think it's the pink sugar one, right? Pink sugar. It is the most realistic
so good.
Betty Crocker cake mix scent. Like, it smells like cake mix. It's so good. I used it before we started.
I should have done that because my lips are so dry, but that's okay.
So that's the diet update, and then quick Clean Coats update. We've been teasing our next launch over on Instagram if you follow us there, but that's another thing that was delayed, unfortunately, due to packaging. We had planned on approving the pre-production sample of the bottle before Chinese New Year and getting the goods out before Chinese New Year. If you're unfamiliar, Chinese New Year is in China for about a month, and the factories shut down and they take much needed vacation time, I'm sure, which is great for them, but we planned poorly, I guess. So, well, we just knew we were so ahead with this project, like compared to our previous two. Like, we actually, you know, like we have product managed in the beauty industry for literally years, but for some reason on our brand, we just kind of like, go with our gut. But then for this product, I'm like, I'm making us a timeline and like we're sticking to it. And we were sticking to it, and then we just sort of like, the bottle, honestly, when we got into the Target program, it was amazing, but it was like full-time school almost.
Yeah.
So I feel like we just sort of like prioritized that, and it was like became a little hard to keep up with everything. Well, anyways, long story short, we got behind, and the color we really wanted to use, just the deco on the Toddle just was not showing up because the contrast wasn't big enough.
Yeah.
So we had to make a pivot and change the color of the bottle. You'll see it on Instagram, I posted. I just posted like very like things taken from our phone to try to just post more on there, behind the scenes business stuff. Hopefully you guys like it. But yeah, we changed the color, so we're excited to see this new color. We think that it'll look nice with our existing blue and green. Yeah, but we won't get it till mid-February, so that's okay. It'll launch when it launches, but we're super excited about this next launch. Probably the most excited I've been. Also started the year, we talked about this on Instagram, but making like bean salads for lunch.
Oh yeah.
And just trying to get back into like eating more whole foods. I think like everyone in December gets very like, oh, just kind of like eating out or whatever. Really trying our best to eat more whole foods and make bean salads for lunch every day. And it's been really great. And we were saying like we were doing such a good job. Like I like could not fit in a lot of my old jeans, and I was like, oh, my jeans are like fitting looser only a week in, which really shows like how much like eating whole foods can like help with inflammation and things like that. But then we were also trying to like eat less Taco Bell. Yeah, that was like our main thing, honestly.
Main thing. And then the night we evacuated,
we were like, what should we eat? And we like got to our friend's house. It was late, and we're like, let's just get Taco Bell. And I'm like, these are dire times. Like we'll just eat Taco Bell. And it was comforting.
It was.
Life is about balance. But yeah, so we've been sticking to these salads and being really healthy. We do like kale, 2 types of beans, like, or 2 cans of beans. 3 kinds of like peppers, like a yellow, red, and green. Wait, yellow, red, and orange.
Yeah, there's like the 3-pack you can buy.
Yeah, a red onion, dill, garlic. What else is in there? You know what I posted? Like I did.
Pepperoncinis, banana peppers.
Yeah, I didn't have time to do like a blog post. Oh, just another thing. We got a new like blog layout after, oh my gosh, you guys, we've had our blog for like 11 or 12 years. It's crazy. But we haven't changed our layout in forever, and I was like, I just need a refresh to feel like I want to write on here more, even if no one reads it. And so I was working on that a lot, like the past 2 weeks before all this happened. So I'll link that below if you're interested in seeing it. But I was gonna do a blog post, but I didn't have time, so I did like a shop my board, and I linked all the ingredients and then did like the blog feature so you could write a little blurb. So I could link that down below too. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are in LA, definitely take care of yourself. I've been trying to like meditate more, do like somatic practices, journaling, just anything to like disassociate with like a book or a TV show. Yeah, but also like feel your emotions. And feel your emotions, then feel your emotions. Know that it's valid, but then try to do like happy little things. We've just been trying to lean on each other and be there for your friends.
and family or anyone that you know that has tragically lost their home, obviously, and hopefully be there in the coming months too.
Yes.
I know that a lot of people say that that's something that people have lost their homes, like, oh, everyone's there at the beginning, but it's harder to remember to like check in and be present.
Yeah, because it'll be
months down the
long
line.
road for them.
Yeah, so we're trying to remember that too.